Hey everyone, welcome back. So in today's video I'm actually going to be reacting to Iman Gadzhi's insane $3 million watch collection. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but all I know is that he's a self-made millionaire. I knew him through TikTok and Instagram to show off his cars and his amazing mansions that he's got and also some watches he's got. So I've had a wee look through these videos and he's got some amazing timepieces, so I thought I might as well react to it. So without further ado, let's get into the video.
This is probably half of it. I've got another 25% of my collection.
So that's 18 watches he's got, and he says that isn't even half. And I've noticed there's a watch row with either 3 or 4 watches in it as well, so that's very impressive. But yeah, I've seen quite a few heavy hitters there, and I can't wait to see some of them. But I noticed there's a Patek in the top right. Let's see what this is.
Box just like this here in Dubai, and then I've got another box like this in London, so I also keep some of my collection in London. So in the watch roll I have my 4 favorite watches.
So there's 22
in
altogether.
My collection at the moment.
That was mental.
We'll save that till the end of the video.
What watch would you say you wear the least?
I guess in the half of the collection that I have here today, probably this rose gold Daytona with black dial. I've got quite a few white gold Daytonas there in the rest of my collection in the other box that doesn't get as much wrist time. And you'll notice that there's still quite a few scratches on here, and that's because any watches that I personally don't wear that much, I give to my friends to wear. So this has got a lot of wrist time on my friends' wrists.
So if you're a friend of a man, then if you don't have a watch to wear, he'll just give you like a pure 40 or 50,000 pound watch to wear. That is crazy to think about. I need friends like that.
But for me personally, I'm just not a massive fan of rose gold and white gold Daytonas, at least compared to a platinum Daytona, or for example something like this. I love the rose gold Daytona on the Oyster Flex, and I think it comes down to really just the way that the...
Now, having a rubber strap on a Daytona looks so nice to me. I remember saying in one of my other videos that having a leather strap, I don't like the feeling of having leather straps on any watches. I've got like 3 leather strap watches that I've got in my collection that I never wear, but seeing a rubber strap, because my T-Sar's actually got a rubber strap on it, and I think they're the comfiest things ever.
bezel pops on the Oyster Flex because
2
the
Daytonas.
ceramic bezel, same as
Never
what you
mind,
find
3
on
Daytonas.
a steel Daytona,
That's
rather than the bezel
mental
that
to
they
think
do
about.
on the full rose gold. So out of these, I'm sure you can understand why I just prefer the pop of color with the Oyster Flex, with the steel, or for example right here.
So hold on. So you just picked out 4 Daytonas, and I'm sure I've just spotted another one in that box as well. So he's got 5 Daytonas in his collection. That is mental. So I guess I guess Daytonas is more or less his favorite.
Platinum Daytona.
Which would you say is your favorite?
Out of these, 100% platinum. I remember I requested this watch from Rolex in 2020, and no one really wanted them like they want them now. So yeah, what can I say? It's just, it's there, it makes a statement, but it doesn't need to scream too loud. So this is a watch that I love. This is a Meteorite Daytona on the Oyster Flex. Once again, just talking about precious metals, I got offered the Meteorite, which is an extremely difficult dial to get. I got offered it on my Truist between...
Yeah, as I say, wasn't there like in the 1700s or something a meteorite that came from like space down to Earth, and Rolex actually sanctioned like a bit of that to make dials. So every meteorite dial you see there, none of them are the same. So if you have like 100 watches of the meteorite dial, every dial is not the same, because obviously it's being cut separate.
in a full
Letting
white
out the other
gold
day.
or rose gold bracelet, and I ended up declining that watch, holding out, and opting for this instead. I took this watch skiing earlier this year, and I don't know, it just felt like the perfect watch.
Just normal.
Like
Take it
in the
skiing.
snow. In here I have one more. I actually wish I'd put less Daytonas in this box. I wish I'd taken
Like
some
I've just
of my other
pointed out.
watches. I have one more Daytona, white gold, blue dial. Once again,
So is that like, so is that 5 or 6 he has now? That's just fully Daytonas, which is probably about 300,000 to 400,000 just in that, which you can probably just buy one of the bottom RMs on the left there for that price. That's mental. I notice I say
Again, what can
mental a lot. I'll
Beautiful
try and
watch,
stop that.
Classic watch, timeless watch. Because it's white gold, wow, this has a lot of scuffs. I think this has been with my friends far more than me. So whoever abused this watch, wow. I didn't realize until now. It's definitely very scuffed up, but at least my friends got some good enjoyment out of it. I think I have one Vacheron in here. So this is the Vacheron Overseas.
As I say, aren't Vacherons the ones that you can like detach? There is one certain one that you can like detach the clasp from them, or the bracelet. I know that's one of them, but I've been looking at a few of them and they look actually quite nice.
Second Overseas that I have. So what I love about this watch, which is also same with
Beautiful.
the Cartier Santos, So this is one of my
Oh, and a Cartier skeleton.
This is a steel. I've also got a rose gold. I don't really
Wonderful
wear this watch
watch.
much anymore, so
I'm a sucker
Alex,
for
my head of
skeletons.
production, this has basically just been his watch this entire year.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's-
Papi lata.
yeah, your daily beater. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. There'd be chunks out if I was wearing it. I'm the worst with it.
At least he's
So
humble about
anyways,
it.
as I was saying, the thing I love about this is just this easy link system with the bracelet. So you can
I just said that it's one of them, so I'm guessing it's that one. But yeah, how Rolex and AP and Patek don't do something like that beats me, because I think having a detach, if like I've got my Seiko on at the moment, which is the Prospect Samurai Edition, and if I was able to just detach the bracelet to put a new one on, I think that would make watches so much more versatile with like every other type of thing. I just think it's something that not just Rolex, but every watch brand should just make like as a permanent thing, because I think having, instead of you needing to go to a watchmaker or getting tools out to detach a clasp or a strap, having it like that just makes it so much better.
take this off as such, and then now you've got the rose gold bracelet off, and I don't have the strap here with me, but you can put like a navy strap on. I've got a navy strap to match the dial. I think without a doubt of any brand, this has the most beautiful blue. It's honestly just mesmerizing. I know that sounds like dramatic, but you can just look at it in so many different lights. The sunburst effect. Yeah, honestly, incredible dial. Great brand, great watch. And I feel like if you see someone with a Vacheron, you know that they're probably a bit more of a serious collector than just wearing a Royal Oak or an Atlas or something like that.
Let's talk about that AP.
This one,
Yeah.
big boy. Big
45
boy.
millimeters,
So I'm
I'm
not
sure.
really a fan of offshores. I'd been offered a couple offshores in the past. Was never that interested. It's a 42 millimeter offshore, and it's also titanium, so it's very light.
So I have a very light titanium watch myself. I've got a Citizen watch, which is currently, it's an Eco Drive watch, so it's currently charging at the moment. But the one thing I've noticed about that is half the time when I'm wearing it, I forget that I'm wearing it, and then I go and put on one of my Tudors or my Seiko, and the actual difference you feel with how the weight is unreal. So I think from now on, I'm not going to be buying any more titanium, because I like the feeling of a watch, and sometimes you forget that Citizen watch is even on you because it's incredibly light. But I'm looking at buying one of these, not an AP, but like a homage version of it. But I'm sure it's like the Royal Oak that I'm looking at. I mentioned it in a video. Let me know if you'd like me to do a review on that. I'm sure I've asked in another video, but it's pre-recorded, so it'll be coming out before this video does. But yeah, go back and watch some of my videos and you'll find out what one it is.
Usually offshores are very big, they're very bulky, and fair enough, this watch is still very bulky. But I don't know, just quite light, and it's big, but it's not a 44 like some of their other offshores. So I just thought, you know what, I need an offshore in my collection.
He
It
just
doesn't
needs
get
one.
that much wrist time. But sometimes, for example, when I'm going on holiday, short little trip somewhere, you know, this makes it outside of the watch case.
Show us something that is a heavy hitter.
Okay, I'll give you what other people would consider. I mean, I'll be honest, there's a lot of heavy hitters in here, but like one that people would most certainly consider a heavy hitter, and then one that the watch community. So this is a 3501. This is not the 3502.
So I'm sure this one is a Velcro strap, and it is part of the collections of RMs that are like very thin, so you can barely just see that they're on. They're not like a thick one at all, I'm
With
sure.
the open case back. It's the 01 with the closed case back. This watch is extremely light. I have it on the Velcro strap. Over the years, I've played around with having this watch with the deployment clasp, as well as some of my other RMs. I put them on deployment clasps, but like I always just keep coming back to the Velcro. I know it is insane. It's absolutely ridiculous to have a watch that's worth $300,000 on Velcro, but that's RM. RM to me is about just not taking yourself too serious. It's comfortable, it's light. As I said, that's why I like the.
So if you can just see it here, that looks very thin, like thick-wise, compared to most RMs you see. And I think RMs did make like a thin series where it was light and thin so that you don't notice it, because a lot of people were complaining apparently about them.
Velcro, that's why I avoid the deployment clasp. So I'd say another one that would be considered a heavy hitter is one of my recent pickups. This I've been waiting for some time from Patek. This is a world time, but it's not just any world time. It is an enamel world time. So actually just a couple months ago, I was at PP6, which is Patek's manufacturing plant. And that was a super cool experience. Patek flew me out to Geneva. on the jet. I got to spend a couple days there. I got to sit down and have lunch with their CEO and one of the arms of their
See,
manufacturer.
being able to be flown out to see the CEO and do all that, that's how you know you've got like a big name to yourself. Because I know that a man's a very famous multi-millionaire, and I know he owns plenty of mansions, cars, watches, real estate. But yeah, he's made a big name for himself, and I've seen myself watching a few of his videos, but it just so happens that this one came up on my recommended.
Manufacturing plant was their enameling facility. So basically I got to learn about the whole enameling process. And I will say, when you go to the factories of these manufacturers, it genuinely does just give you a totally new appreciation for these watches. So I would definitely say that anyone who's into horology, this would be a heavy hitter for them. So just going back to complications, this is a white gold Nautilus 5740. I'm not gonna...
Here we go. The Patek Philippe Nautilus. I think any of the Pateks are great. I personally don't like them in the rose gold. I think they look better in the stainless steel, but I think this one is a bit too much for me because it's got the 3 dials. I've got the moon phase, the month and the date and all that. I think there's one in a different video that's just got the time and the date, and I think that is perfect. And I
sit here
love these
and
watches.
pretend to be Nico Leonard and know all the numbers and all the different references. I am a collector. I'm not an expert,
So like he says, I reacted to a video of Nico Leonard, and I did say in most of my videos that Nico Leonard is a fanatic when it comes to watches. He knows all the serial numbers and everything about them, and every time I make a joke, it's always about Nico.
we want to just make that clear.
I'm sure I've reacted to Nico Leonard's videos.
Except for the fact that I believe it's the most complicated Nautilus. It's white gold, and it looks beautiful.
Would you say it's your favorite out of that box?
No, I'd say that out of this box, it's probably either the enamel dial or this, which is a rose gold aquanaut. I adore rose gold watches, and the combination of rose gold and brown is my favorite. You're gonna see one of my watches here and one of my other watches, which is my favorite watch and was my favorite watch for the longest time, the 5711R rose gold Nautilus, until I got something that's in that watch roll, which ended up beating it.
So that watch there is a brown rose gold watch with a brown dial and brown strap. I fell more in love with the green one that has the green strap and green dial, and I tried to buy a homage version of that, but the seller didn't get back to me in time, so I would have had one of them, but it's not a Patek or anything, it's just like a homage version of it. But yes, they're
That's my
absolutely
favorite
gorgeous.
watch. But yeah, when it comes to aquanauts, very comfortable. I think incredibly comfortable bracelet. I actually find them to be more comfortable than Rolex's Oyster Flex. That's just me personally, and I just like the low, thin profile of it. I just like it when the watches are just flush and sleek. Yeah, so I love this watch. Let's see, if we want to go back to Rolex, we've got a couple day dates in here. This is the 60th
Just a couple.
anniversary green olive dial.
Literally two of what I would say is the rarest, because 60th anniversary, you can't seem to find more of them. But the fact that he's got two and just kind of shrugs it off like it's just, oh, I've got just a couple.
This is
Mental.
an example in white gold, and this is an example in rose gold with a diamond bezel. I'm not a massive diamond guy, to be honest, and if it is diamond, obviously it has to be factory. But I don't know, sometimes it's fun to just mix it up, have a little bit of little pop of shine. I'd say that there's still a lot of stuff that I really need to explore. I pretty much only got Rolex, Patek Philippe, Richard Mille, AP, Vacheron, Cartier. I feel like I still have a lot of collecting to do.
I don't know what moon swatches.
I do have a lot of moon swatches, that's correct. I was wearing one when I started. Moon swatches are just cheap. They're just fun. I put them on these rubber straps, and yeah, it's nice if you're ever in Europe and you don't want to get your arm chopped off. It's a good little fun watch to wear.
Very true.
Let's see, what else do we have in here?
Is that the
We've
Batman?
got
Or the Batgirl?
Batgirl. Some people like it on the Oyster bracelet. I personally like it on the Jubilee. I actually really love this watch. I don't know, it's just...
If anyone has a GMT Master 2 and doesn't put it on a Jubilee, then I think it's just wrong, personally, because I think the Jubilee just sets it off, because as soon as you see a Submariner looking watch that's Rolex with a GMT, with a Jubilee band, you automatically think it's just a GMT.
it's a
It's
good
like a
watch.
status symbol.
Good watch. Pepsi, I think I've already talked to you guys about this. This is a white gold. This is not the steel. The steel, I believe, has a darker dial. So yeah, white gold, but for 99% of people, you would never be able to tell the difference. Rose gold AP, once again, on the theme of thin profile watches. I just really love the jumbos because they're thinner, more flush. Some of the AP
See, I'm not sure.
Kind of big, which is
I'm
great
not sure
for
about
certain
them.
occasions, but just day to day, I don't know, I just like thinner.
I'm trying to grow to these APs. I know the offshores look nice, but these ones I'm trying to just... when it's just something where you don't like it, but you try to love it, and I just don't think it's happening with me. I don't know why. I'm very weird when it comes to certain watches.
So I've got this watch as well in platinum with the green dial, and that watch is crazy watch. Super difficult watch to get. And then let's see, the last one to talk about here is probably this, which is the 5205G. This is a white gold piece from Patek. At the moment, I've got it on this sort of canvasy
Never
strap.
seen that
I've
one
had this
before.
watch for maybe 4 years, 3 years, 4 years at this point. Once again, it's got this blue sunburst dial. Great watch, beautiful, 38 millimeters. So a little on the smaller size for my wrist, but it's just timeless. It's a timeless size. Is going to be appropriate and hold its own. So yeah, this is a great watch.
Can't say
And then
I've
now
seen that
getting
before.
into my favorite pieces in my watch collection at the moment.
Here we
Obviously,
go.
as a
Let's see,
collector,
3
that
watches.
changes
What's he
month
got?
by month, but they are some heavy hitters. I will say that. So
Oh,
these are the
4,
four
never mind.
watches that have been in my rotation the most and gotten the most wrist time as of late. This is my favorite watch ever. If I had to have one watch for the rest of my life, it would be this. It is the 5712R. It took
So, like I said with the last one,
everything.
that watch there I think is great because it's only got 2 dials and it's got a wee power function at the top left. I would prefer that to be in either white gold or stainless steel. I think the rose gold just makes it look too classy. I know Patek Philippe is classy, try not to bite me in the comments, but I would much prefer that without rose gold. But that is one of my favourite watches, the
Thing
5712.
that I loved about the 5711R and just made it even better. One big thing that they added on this is the extension. So if you press here, and you can do it on both sides, it can make the watch longer, it can make the bracelet longer, and obviously that is very useful on hot days. You can, increase the extension, then that gives you some extra wrist space. Right now it's quite cold, so this slides back quite a lot. For me, I don't know what it is, but with Patek, like sometimes I feel it's inappropriate to wear rose gold in certain situations, but
Like I just said, the way Iman said it, I'm not a fan of rose gold. You need to have like a very, very, very like good occasion to wear rose gold, whereas with stainless steel I feel like you can wear that anytime.
I don't know why with this watch I just feel like it's not screaming. Like I just feel like it's so elegant. So even though it is rose gold, even though it can be perceived to some people as flashy, for me it's just stunning. What a watch. What a watch. This is a platinum day-date. This exact configuration.
That will be heavy.
This has the baguette bezel and it also has the baguette markers. It's got some ice on here. I just think it's...
I like the dates.
I know it's got some diamonds on here, but I still feel like...
I want
it's
to buy a
appropriate.
date.
It's not like that crazy. It's still in a way elegant. And I just think it's beautifully balanced. There's certain watches that you just look at and you're like, this works. This makes sense. And I'd say this is definitely one of those watches where it's just very well balanced.
I know the platinum ones are
Now,
very
the
heavy.
next watch is incredible. Absolutely incredible. This is a Celestial. There's a couple minute repeaters that I'm eyeing up. I think that'll probably be my next dress watch from Patek.
I don't really
It's
know much
a
about the
minute repeater,
Celestials.
but outside of that, I'd say this is probably my favorite dress watch. Now, this is a 44 millimeter watch. It's a large dress watch, so a lot of people, it just won't work for them. Once again, because I have larger wrists, this still works. This is definitely not a watch.
And that's where I fall on because my wrists are incredibly small. I've got 6.5 inch wrists. So I own a 38mm watch and I think everyone says that that fits my wrist perfectly, but I feel like it just still looks too small, but some others would agree with that.
You're gonna see often. There's definitely not many people that want to be spending this sort of money for a dress watch that like no one knows what it is. And this is definitely a collector's piece, but it's incredible to be able to look up at the sky and know exactly where the constellation is and where all the stars are placed, and that perfectly
into
matches
horology, you'd like
your
that.
watch. Yeah, it's just an insane complication, insane watch. And the last watch is a watch that has been in my rotation ever since I got it. I was in love with it, and even when I first started getting into Richard Mille, this was the watch that from day one I told them that I wanted. This is a 6702, and they have a few variations of it. This is the
I'm not sure
Zaref,
about that.
I believe. And this watch is so insanely light, but as you're gonna see, as is a theme with a lot of my other watches, I like thin profile watches. So this is RM. This gives you that comfortability, that lightness
Yeah, look
that you
how
get with
thin
Richard
that
Mille,
is.
but without, you know, that extra chunkiness. So for example, if you take it compared to the 3501, just check that
So
out.
I thought that 3501 was thin. Never mind, there's a watch even more thin than that.
You know, you can see how much extra the 3501 protrudes out compared to the 6702. Yeah. Stunning watch, huh? So ladies and gentlemen, that's my watch collection. I started collecting watches in 2018. When I was 18 years old, I'd made my first $1 million from the business, and I basically have been collecting ever since. And I was collecting even when it wasn't a financially smart decision, when every single watch I was buying, and I was losing money on. That doesn't really matter. I think if you find something that you are interested in, go collect.
I agree exactly 100% what everything he says. But yeah, I will end it here because this video is getting possibly a bit longer than most of my other ones. So yeah, and I'm going to try and edit this down a bit. So hopefully you'll enjoy. Please leave a like on the video. It lets me know that you are enjoying these. And subscribe if you're new. We are currently sitting at 439 subscribers and we're trying to reach 500 by the end of the year. That is one of my goals. We've already hit a goal of having 1,000 views plus on one of my videos, which ended up being my watch collection video and my new camera video, which is what I'm recording on now. So in the post section of my channel, I put out a wee thing about maybe technically an update that I'm wanting to try, but it's a voting system. So at the start of the year I wanted to do Challenge 52. It's where you upload one video every week for a year, which is 52 videos. And now that I'm kind of doing these reaction videos and I'm having a bit of fun with them, I put out a post asking if you would like me to keep with the once a week, which will be Saturdays at 9 PM, or would you like me to do a reaction video where I upload every single day at 10 PM at night. So let me know what your thoughts are, and as always I will see you in tomorrow's video at 10 with a new reaction video. Take care, peace.